welcome back to the Robison Home Builders podcast for another episode. Impromptu. We're loving this podcast. We did a poll on Instagram to see like what kind of content people were liking. We got like, I don't know, 200 votes or something, and solid like 8 people voted for the podcast.
Sweet.
And you know what? This is for those 8 people, and we will keep doing it.
The funny part is it's probably like my mom and my dad and Rachel. And
I definitely was one of them that did that as well. So actually, it's only like 7.
Exactly.
I actually love doing this podcast, and I think it's really fun to sit down in like longer form, unedited, just kind of have, some fun conversations. So today we're going to speak about myths around custom home building. So misconceptions, things that people think are probably likely the case that actually might not be, or maybe they are.
Okay.
So we're going to kind of like do a bit of myth busting or like confirming. All right.
Sweet.
So with the great help of our audience, I have some questions as well as ChatGPT.
Perfect.
So ChatGPT, you could have absolutely no idea what it's talking about, and it'll be easy to bust those myths.
Right.
So this is myths versus reality custom home edition. Right?
Okay. Sweet.
Okay. So the first one is you need to be a millionaire to build a custom home.
No, I don't. Wow, geez. That's actually a hard thing to answer, because in the world that we live in these days, it is expensive to build a home.
Yeah.
And to say you are a millionaire, no, but it does take financial stability to build any home, whether it's a starter home or a custom home. Typically, a custom home is going to be more expensive than your average or typical starter home. Mm-hmm. So to say that you have to be a millionaire, that's a very loose term.
Right. I guess, could you build a home that's worth $1.3 million, even though like you don't have $1 million of assets yourself?
100%.
When I'm talking about like financing and,
like
make a payment.
If you have a good paying, and I'm no bank by any means, but
right.
And so every bank has their own regulations and rules. But if you have a good, steady income, you can qualify for anything, right? If you can qualify to build a home, you don't have to have $1 million cash sitting in a bank. You just have to have a job or job security that can back up whatever the payment of the home is going to be.
Gotcha. Okay. So if you think that you have to be a millionaire to build a custom home, it's not true.
Correct.
It's not true.
Correct.
Probably a good idea to have a good amount of money behind you before you try and build a $3-4 million home.
Yeah, just like anything. Like you should probably have some financial stability before you go do anything large like that. And again, I'm no financial planner by any means, but that's what a bank would want to see.
Got it. Okay. Myth 2.
Okay.
Building custom will take at least 2 years.
False. 100% false. For instance, we have a home right now. It is 13,000 square feet. We're month and a half, maybe 4 weeks from being done, and we just hit a year at the end of February.
So we are from breaking ground. Is that the time where we start the
day
clock?
we dig? The day we dig is the day this clock starts to the day we get, essentially when the clients move in.
And with this 13,000 square foot home, it will be just over a year, maybe 13 months.
It'll be about 14 months all said and done. So, and the reason we've been able to do that is it's not an overly complicated build, but it's a big home. Like 13,000 square feet is a lot, but our superintendent, Isaac, has done a very good job managing and getting things done and scheduled in a particular way. And our clients have been awesome. They've been able to make decisions quickly.
Yep.
And if decisions are made and things are scheduled, things can move fairly quickly. And we had a very mild winter, so we were able to work on our exterior of the home through the entire winter, versus if it was raining and snowing every day in January and February, it would have slowed things down a little bit.
What do you say then? So like this 14 month project, 13,000 square foot, has been like kind of a golden recipe. Everything's gone pretty well.
Yeah, it's been a very smooth
yeah.
sailing project.
What's typical? Is it over 2 years?
No, not even close. Like I say, and it all depends on the size.
Okay.
If someone were to call me off the street and said, hey, I want to build a 10,000 square foot house, how long is it going to take? I would say anywhere from 13 to 16 months.
Okay.
And into perspective, we have a couple very large homes out in Bluffdale. We've showcased them a lot.
Yep. People know those.
They're
homes.
over 2 years into those builds, but they're 25,000 square feet.
Right.
So the more square footage, obviously the longer it's going to take to build. So can you build a home under a year? Probably not. Even if it's like a 5,000 square foot house, it's still going to take you a year. But no, 2 years is no way.
All right.
For a 10,000 square foot house does not take 2 years to build.
Love it. Well, we're busting these myths. Let's move on. And this is one from ChatGPT. And I'm showing my ignorance because I have no idea what this means. So you can tell me if this is even worth talking about. Myth: prefab homes are low quality.
Yeah, that's a myth, but I've literally never have spent time or done one or anything.
What is a prefab home? I don't know.
I don't really know. It's pretty much like a home that shows up on a truck.
Oh, like built.
Yeah.
Prefabricated is what it means.
Or like a kit. Like you can go online and you can say, hey, like if someone's building like a log, like a cabin,
right?
You can buy like log cabin kits.
It's basically
like putting together
Legos.
Yeah, and you can finish them nice. Again, we've never dabbled in that realm, but you can do those. But I don't know too much about them.
That's so interesting. I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, like I know a lot. Like you can get like prefab like pole barns, like these big barns that you see on ranches and stuff. Like we've done a couple of those in the past, and they turn out really good. They turn out really nice. They show up on a semi, and you literally put together like a Lego, like a big Lego box.
Okay, well, I want to look into that a little bit more because that's actually really interesting. Yeah. Just like for my interest, obviously.
It's kind of like, it's very similar to the greenhouse at the parade house. It showed up on a semi.
Right.
They had a plan. It was all prefabbed in a shop. Gotcha. I gave them all the dimensions of our foundation. They showed up and put it together.
Oh, that's kind of
cool.
And
you've seen how nice that is. It's a very, very nice greenhouse. It's beautiful. Yeah. You'd have no idea it was prefabbed.
Well, if anybody that's listening to this has experience with prefab homes, let us know. Let us know what you found with them because we've never done that at Rising. We build custom.
Correct.
So, all right, cool. All right. Myth 4: custom homes are purely for aesthetics and not function.
100% false.
Really?
Yeah, because you still got to live in your house. There's still bedrooms. There's still kitchens. There's still, there's everything in a custom home. There's the amenities to live, but a custom home is that's when it gets fun, is you can make it more about aesthetics. You can you can choose whatever. The sky's the limit in a custom home.
Well, I'd say that custom homes are likely more practical.
Yeah, because you design it however you want.
For your family.
Yes, and then the day comes when you want to sell it, it may not be as practical for someone else.
Right.
But you're not, at least most of our clients don't build their homes for the day they sell it.
Of course.
They build it for, hey, this is what my family wants and needs are. This is how we're going to build this house. And then in 25 years or whatever they want to sell it, great. Someone will come along and love it.
Right.
But it may not be perfectly fit for the second buyer, but our clients don't care.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised when I read that myth because I was like, hang on a second.
That doesn't make sense at all.
I've literally, walked through a fair few custom homes. I'm like, this is the most practical and logical thing ever. Like, you see a bunch of stuff that they've designed. I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so smart. That'd be so nice to have. But that you just don't get in, spec homes or something like that. So okay, that myth is off the table.
100%.
We're yet to confirm one of these myths. So
and these are questions that people have asked you.
A couple of them
on social media.
A couple of them aren't. That one was from ChatGPT, and I think it was a soft pitch for us to say, no, custom homes are awesome. I think that's what ChatGPT was doing for us.
They're awesome.
Okay, myth. What are we on 5? I think.
Yeah.
Okay, this is actually a really good one. You don't get a say once construction starts.
False. 100% false. Like that's the beauty of a custom home. If a client walks in and the room is framed and they're like, this room doesn't feel big enough, or I want to move this wall. Okay, let's move it. There's sometimes a cost associated to it.
Yeah.
But that's what you do. That's it. In my opinion, it's the client's home. They're the one paying the bills. If they want to do something, let's do it.
I love
What's the point of saying no when they're the one paying the bills and it's their home?
Do you think it's that way for all builders, or are there some builders that maybe take plans like this is what it is and we're sticking with this?
I don't know. I'm sure there is. I'm sure some builders are like, nope, this is the plan, this is it. And if you want to change it, it's going to be a very high price and
time-wise and money-wise.
Yeah, where I'm to the essence of like, again, like it's your home, like let's do it. Like I hate referencing. It's easy to reference to real world jobs we're working on. Our parade house.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago or a month ago, they said, hey, we want to add this spiral staircase, add the upper closet.
So we literally chopped half of the floor.
And so we said, okay, like this is the cost.
Yep.
They said, okay. And we said, okay, go.
That's crazy.
And so we're doing it. And yeah, it's going to be really tight. We actually were meeting about it today, and it's going to really suck to get done in time. But hey, it is what it is.
Good. Well, that's another myth off the table.
Off the table. No way.
Once you go custom, it is custom and you can change.
Custom, yeah, change it.
As long as you choose the right builder.
Correct.
And
Correct.
RHB is one of them.
Correct.
Myth 6. So this, I think, is be the first myth that maybe we agree with. Building custom is more stressful than buying a spec home.
100% it's more stressful.
So this is a true.
Yeah,
this is not a myth. This is real. It's more stressful.
It's 100%. If you go buy a spec home
or an existing home,
a home that's already done, it's already done. There's no stress. Right. You just say you sign the paper and you move in. Where a custom home, there is thousands of decisions that go into making a custom home. That's why I am a huge advocate for a designer to be on board with the homeowners. It takes a lot of the stress out of it. You don't get decision fatigue. You have someone that's not the builder that can help you make decisions. A lot of times the clients will come to the builder and be like, hey, what do you think I should do here? I'm like, I don't know. It's not my home. Like, I'm not a designer. I'm just told what to do and we just do it. Right. So does this wall color look good versus this wall color? I don't know. Nor do I care. I don't care. But that's where a designer comes into play, is because the homeowner can bounce ideas off of the designer and help them make a better decision. It takes a lot of the stress out of building a home.
So of course, building a custom home is stressful. What is some advice for you beyond just get a designer and get a good team? What are some things this is just a follow-up question. Mm-hmm. What would you suggest people do to make it less stressful? What are some things that they can be, maybe a mindset or ways to think about things that makes the process less stressful?
I would say that I think a lot of stress comes from if a client sees, they happen to walk through the job and they see something not perfect or not right. I think it becomes very stressful for them to be like, oh no, like how are we going to fix this? And it's like, a lot of people have to understand that, like, when we're building a home, we're building off of a 2D set of plans.
Right.
When you take a 2D set of plans and make it 3D, make it real world, it's not going to match up exactly perfect.
Okay.
But if they see something that's incorrect or they don't like, it's not the end of the world to fix it.
Right.
And so it's just a matter of like, hey, like I noticed this is wrong. Like, what do you think? And then that's where the fun part of our job is problem solving. Like, okay, let's figure out, like, how do we make that look exactly like the plan show?
Right.
And so I think a lot of stress comes from that for clients. And then, time frames and, oh my gosh, we have to get out of our current house.
Yeah.
When are we going to be done with this house? Because it is, I'll be the first to admit, like, construction can sometimes be a moving target. It's not a perfect science. It's not a perfect science. And so timelines can be moved, timelines can be changed or will be moved. And so it's having a little bit of patience, but also having faith in your builder that they can get it done.
Nice. Okay. Myth 7. Custom homes are, we've already kind of spoke about this, so we don't have to spend long. Custom homes are impossible to finance.
False.
Yeah, it's false.
Yeah, 100%
not
false.
true. And kind of spoke to that, right?
Yeah, and a lot of our clients have construction loans.
And so, so construction loans, financing, it's way out there, way manageable.
100%.
How, I mean, maybe I can cut this if you don't want to say, but how many of your clients finance?
It's sometimes 50-50. Sometimes some of our clients pay cash. Some of them, will finance.
So it's a super normal, common, totally acceptable thing to finance.
100%. Like, for instance, I've built a couple of my personal homes, and I've had a construction loan on all of them.
On all of them.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because it's easy.
Cool.
It's super easy to get a construction loan.
Okay, this is a good one for Utah because I hear this all the time, and I have like a one-line answer to this, but I'm going to hear what you have to say first. All luxury homes look the same.
False.
Custom luxury homes look the same. False.
I would say a prime example is look at our website.
Nice.
Look at our website, look at our Instagram. Like, there's a couple homes that look similar because they took vibes off of each other, but like there isn't one home on our website that is the exact same as another.
Yep.
And I think that's industry wide in the custom home industry. Yes, there is some custom home builders that funnel to like one style.
Maybe that they're more comfortable with.
Yeah, it's attracts their vibe or whatever, but for the most part, like I don't think any custom homes are the same.
My one-liner response to busting this myth is come and visit our parade home. Yeah. June 5th to 21st, 2025, Utah Valley Parade.
Yep.
They're not all the same.
Exactly.
But I can see why that might be something that somebody thinks because sometimes they can look similar and borrow from each other.
Yeah, totally. And again, that's the beauty of a custom home. Someone walks through a home and they see, ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
I want to put that in my home. And so you might see it and it might be very similar and draw similarities from other homes.
And homeowners have every right to do that.
Yep, 100%.
It's theirs and they're paying for it. Okay, myth number 9. You only need an architect. Builders just follow the plan. So the builder isn't as important as the architect.
False. Again, like we just talked a minute ago, architects are vital to the process. Right. Obviously, I can't just go start putting stuff together without a plan to follow.
Yeah.
But every architect in the world will tell you that what's on plans versus what's real world is never exactly the same.
Right.
And so that's where the contractor on-site supervision, on-site problem solving is 100% vital in the process.
Okay. So pay attention. The home builder is important. If you're choosing and assembling a team, home builder is important.
And I'm going to take that back a little bit. If you're building if it's a starter home that's been built the same plan 50 times, like these tract home subdivisions,
right?
One superintendent can run 50 homes,
right?
Because it's literally the plan just over and over.
Repetitive.
But when you get into our world, the custom world, 100% a builder and architect have to work together.
And just to further back up what you're saying, it's been really fun the times when I'm on a job site with designers or even an architect, and there's a stumbling block, a roadblock because of something's come up from the 2D to the 3D world. It's actually quite amazing how often our guys come up with solutions.
Oh yeah.
From real world examples. Oh, well, we could do this. We could do this. We could do this. We could do this. That's really important to have the right people with the right brain and know how to overcome and adapt into the real world. So it's cool.
Yeah. I think that is like my most favorite part of my job is the problem solving and being like, okay, like how the heck are we going to do that? Like it's not turning out like the plan. We've got to figure out a solution to make it look like the plan shows.
Right.
And there isn't a lot in the construction world that I haven't seen at this point.
Yeah.
And I know I'm young, but I do have a lot of experience and I've seen pretty much everything, and we can always find a solution to figure it out.
Okay. Final myth
to
bust. When building custom homes, bigger is better.
False.
Okay.
Obviously, big is great because you can fit more stuff. Sports courts, playrooms, theaters, all that, golf simulators, all that. But I think you can also fit a lot in a smaller home.
Yeah.
It'll be more detail oriented. How do I say this? There is more detail focused in a smaller area. So
right.
More of the home is finished out in a high level.
Yeah.
In a smaller footprint.
And I don't want to be crucified for this, because I know that 7,500 square foot is still a big home.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of the smaller homes that we're building right now is 7,500 square foot. That's the living area. Granted, there's another building. It's our parade home.
I was like, yeah, what house is that?
Yeah. Our parade home, the residence, like the main living building, is on the smaller side to what we build normally, or compared to our other projects. But that is one of the most intricate and detailed. I would never in a million years say that it's worse off because of that. There
isn't one square inch of the house that isn't designed and detailed to perfection.
Yes, exactly. So bigger does not equal better. Size does not matter.
Nope.
Which is awesome.
And I'll tell that to people. If someone calls me and they're like, hey, what's the minimum square feet you'll build? I'm like, I don't care.
I don't have
like,
one.
I don't have one. Like, I don't have an interest in building tract homes.
Right.
But we build custom homes. If you want a 2,500 square foot custom home, sure, let's do it. I don't care. As long as you have the budget to do it, great, let's do it.
So that was 10 myths busted. And 1 or 2 confirmed. By Kory himself. That's kind of like a different kind of podcast, but it was fun just to like talk about those things and get some information out there. So thanks very much for listening, everybody. We will be back in a week or 2 weeks, depending on what I can think up for Kory, what our next one will be. If you guys have any podcast themes or questions, as always, just leave them in the comments below. We actually really like reading your suggestions, and we'll always use them and implement them. So do hit subscribe, like, comment, follow, do all the good things, and we'll see you next time on the Robison Home Builders podcast.
Sweet.